All right. Well, we are live. I'm Jack along with my brother Joey. We are two out of three of the Jag Bros, and it is a big week in the NFL on Wednesday night all across the league. Everyone dropped their schedule for the 2025-2026 season, and we're actually just 16 weeks away, which also is a really long time, but 16 weeks away from week number one. Hopefully, it'll fly by where we are home in the bank, opening up against Carolina. So, Joey, you and I are going to kind of walk game by game, matchup by matchup. We're doing this live. So, hopefully, we can get a couple Jags fans to jump in and interact and let us know if we're crazy or if y'all agree and let us know. But, Joey, just kind of before we start with week one, what are your overall thoughts on the Jags schedule? What are you thinking about the Jags right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a pretty good schedule. Definitely easier towards the end of it, which is nice. So that way we can kind of figure out our steps along the way with first time coach, first time GC, first time everyone, honestly, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator. So it's a little tough at the beginning, but honestly, a lot of these teams seem tougher than I think they may actually be this year. And we'll get into that once we get into the schedule. But super excited for this season. A lot of hope has been uh, given to the Jaguars after such a miserable ending last season. Everyone was hoping we'd go another 9-8, push for a playoff, but just all fell apart. The coaching staff was so miserable towards the end. And it wasn't until I kind of took a look back at the last season and realized a lot of our issues was more coaching than players. When you're in that many games, losing 10 games by one score or less, that's on coaching, not the players. The players that got you in this, now you need to scheme something up to win yourself the game, and we just never did. It was just always super flat. It was never the right play. It was never going to the right player. It really is hopeful that with this whole new youth movement that we're going to have something fun to watch. And then obviously Travis Hunter is just going to be an incredible addition to this team.
The biggest, honestly, I've been thinking about this week a ton. Is he the biggest name in the NFL right now, Travis Hunter? Like, is he the biggest storyline? Because I don't know. Like, NFL's not as much as, maybe like NBA of a superstar driven league. And obviously, it's not played in NFL down, but we know NFL loves big storylines. And the Kelsey and Swift storyline has died down some, and the Mahomes and the Chiefs. And the Eagles don't really have a true superstar that kind of transcends their team. So I don't know if he's number one, probably Jags bias, but he's got to be in the top three, top five at the worst.
Definitely. I mean, he kind of reminds me a little bit of like the Caitlin Clark of WNBA,
Yeah.
where he's become this like face, and people who don't even watch NFL know who he is. People from around the world now have eyes on Jacksonville because of Travis Hunter. And you have Shador Sanders also, who I think is just as big. I mean, people keep talking about him as if he's a first round pick, even though he went in the fifth round and is pretty much quarterback maybe 3 or 4. But they still tweet about him, talk about him constantly. So eventually, if he's good enough, you'll see him as just as big of a face. But at least Travis Hunter has the skills to go along with this name, and it can really change kind of the way the Jaguars are seen in the NFL, the way that Caitlin Clark has changed the fever for WNBA.
Yeah, she dominated Angel Reese the other night.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
know.
but we'll say, it is too bad. And again, I mean, last year the Jaguars were 4-13, were top five picks. So in some ways it makes sense, but it's a little sad we didn't get more primetime games. We got that big Monday night game against Kansas City, week five, and then if you call London a primetime game or not, we have that week seven. But let's go ahead and jump right in. So, Joey, take us away. So, Sunday, September 7th, week one versus Carolina at home. What are kind of your thoughts on the week one matchup?
I think this is a great game to start off with. It's a young team, just like we will be. They haven't really found their footing. Bryce Young started to be better towards the end of last season. He's still not that great. And who knows if he's actually going to be better or if people just didn't know kind of how to handle him. But I don't believe in him at all. I think Ted McMillan may have an okay showing on his first game, but I just don't think they're going to have a chance against us. I think we're going to come out hot. It's going to be our first home game, first game. Travis Hunter has a ton of energy, and it's going to bring a different feel to this team with BTJ, Travis Hunter, Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Tank Bigsby. It's going to be a really big offensive performance for us, and I really believe in our new defensive coordinator, Anthony Campanelli. I think that he is going to turn this defense around. I think the defense is better than we were last year. We had a terrible coach doing a hockey rotation with the defensive line. I think he's going to get everyone back in line. It's going to be exciting to see how Travis Hunter gets played in the secondary. A lot of people have talked about, like, oh, I haven't seen him get any reps yet. We've only gone through rookie mini camp. He will definitely be getting reps with training camp, OTAs, with the defense. They talked about it on our podcast that the defense is a lot easier to learn because you just got your zone and man and things to learn, where the offense, it's a whole different language. It's a whole new playbook. It's a lot more to learn. And he's going to be spending a little more time on the offense. So there's going to be more time spent learning the offense than it is the defense, but he will definitely be on the defense. And I'm excited to see him possibly score a touchdown and get a pick all within his first game.
Man, if that happens, the NFL Twitter and Jags Twitter will just blow up.
Oh, I know.
Follow us on X because we would be tweeting that like crazy if he gets a touchdown and a pick in his first game. The excitement level is going to be through the roof. Joey, to your point, there's just been a lull in the last couple seasons, even though you had that 2022 big year for the Jags. You had a good start in 2023. But it's been a lot of like, hey, let's just run it back and hopefully guys progressing it better. I know you, which all Jags fans blame a lot of last year's failures on the coaching stuff, but you also, at least Gladstone is definitely blaming it a lot on players. I mean, more than at least half of the starters on both sides of the ball are not back. Like Gabe Davis is gone, Kirk is gone, Ingram is gone. Both your starting offensive interior linemen are gone. A lot of your secondary is gone. So there is a ton of guys that'll be new. And
Mhm.
so I actually am probably going to disagree with a lot of Jags fans. I don't think the Panthers are good enough to win this game on the road, but I do see them as an up and comer too. So they were 5-12 last year. To your point, Joey, they finished strong. PFF gave them an A+ in this past year's draft. So I like this to be a close game where I think that Carolina is circling this game too, saying, hey, we both struggled last year. We're both going to be better. Both of us are sitting in to me, the two worst divisions in all of football, the AFC South and the NFC South. So both of us are kind of feeling like, hey, if we can just get 9 wins and you can kind of win games like this, you can make it and win your division. I don't think it's a blowout, but I think the Jags have home field advantage. But it's going to be a lot of question marks, right? Trevor Lawrence has not played in a very long time. He has had injuries. He's learning his fourth new offensive system in 5 or 6 years. You do have a new coach. You have a lot of new pieces, and so much is going to depend on how the Jags start the year. The stat of can you go 1-0 versus 0-1 has a massive determining factor in if you make the playoffs or not, and especially an incredibly winnable game. Heck, the last time we played Carolina, we blew them out 26-0 at home, and Trevor didn't even play. So,
That was with CJ Beathard.
yeah. So, obviously a different Panthers team, obviously a different Jaguars team. But I would say, the vast majority are gonna like the Jags in this game, unless you're a Panthers fan.
Yeah, I mean, I think they could maybe build something, but I just see us coming out hot. It's as you said, there have been player turnover, and I think they're ready to whatever that funk was that we got on ourselves at the end of the 2023 season carried over in the 2024 season. You watched the wind out of our sails. The very first game, we came out hot against the Dolphins, up 14 points, and then it just all fell away, and then we never were able to get it off of us again, and it just followed us through the entire 24 season. I think we come out hot and we stay hot, and I see it as a pretty big blowout, to be honest.
You sound like a Gator
Starting the
fan
season
there.
on, I
No,
I
that's
understand.
their slogan. The boys stay hot. Well, I'm not a Gator fan, so I don't even know what it is, but I heard it too many times. But yeah, it's
But
you're absolutely right. There's a new culture, a new DNA finally in Jacksonville, and there's a lot more positivity, working together, focus.
oh
Uh,
yeah, and
but to
to
Baselli's
be
point,
honest, something that it's not kind of talked about last season. Everyone was looking around for someone to bring that energy,
yep,
and you just drafted it. Travis Hunter's on both sides of the ball. Even if we are down, he is never down. He will always be bringing in energy. He's always happy, and he's going to be able to lift both the teams. Maybe not with the skill, but with his whole energy and presence, it's going to be so different. And I don't know if Jaguars realize. I mean, I went to Baylor. I watched. There's a huge difference when the entire sideline is jumping up and down and has that energy. You play way better, and I think that he's going to bring that, and it's going to be really fun to watch in the first game.
yeah, no question, it's gonna be fun to watch. And the ultimate question with Travis Hunter is just gonna be, obviously the one is like, can he do it? I think most would say yes. Obviously, Gladstone says yes. You don't move up to two, but can he do it for 17 games against the best football players in the world? Because he's only done it 1 year. So let's see, can he do it in the NFL? So that's probably enough week one talk. We'll speed up throughout, but week two is another big matchup. Joey, we're gonna be
Oh
in
yeah,
Cincinnati, and there's been some rumors about a certain Cincinnati Bengal and
yeah.
your Jacksonville Jaguars.
So the Bengals may have one of the worst front offices that I've seen lately.
Oh,
Um,
easily.
they have one of the best edge guys, and it looks like he may be stepping away from the team. And there's a lot of rumors going around that he could be coming to Jacksonville, that Gladstone's on the phone trying to get him. That's Trey Hendrickson could be coming here. I don't know exactly how the formation would work out. Maybe you move Walker inside or move Josh Hines Allen as an outside linebacker. Not really sure, but we would find a way to get all three of them on the field, and that's a win now move, which would be really exciting. But
And
besides
I
that,
think it's doable. Like just for a
oh yeah,
second, we're not going to spend too much time on it. I mean, who knows what the trade value is? At one point the Bengals were saying a first rounder. That's out the window with just how negative Hendrickson has been about the Bengals in the situation. So I don't know. Like, can you package in Armstead? And even this is kind of one I've not seen out there, but like, could you package in Armstead and ETN in a round three pick since we have a bunch of them? I really like the two rookies the Jags got. You let Tank be the number one, and then you have two number two backs in Tootin and Allen from the draft.
yeah,
It makes
definitely.
sense for the Bengals. Like that's a win now move. They get a great RB2, they get a good interior defense alignment, and a third round pick for a guy that is probably not going to play. So who knows? It's really early, but it would be fun to see Hendrickson get a revenge match against the Bengals because he would go off if the Jags pulled off that trade.
Oh, definitely. And then Cincinnati doesn't have that great of an offensive line too, so he would be able to feast off of them. Uh, even if that doesn't happen, the Bengals are notoriously slow in the beginning of the season. For the last 3 seasons, they have lost their first 2 games. Last season, uh, 2023 and 2022, all three of them lost the first 2 games. And this has been one of the uglier off seasons for them. They still haven't signed their rookies. Their number one draft pick is still sitting there
Yeah,
on the
Shamar
sideline
Stewart.
holding out because
Crazy.
they're not giving any guaranteed money. And it's just crazy what's going on with them. So I think that they won't be focused. I think they just paid all their wide receivers and everything. And when people get paid, they don't play quite as good as they normally do. I think if we come in hot off of a kind of blowout against the Panthers, I think we could sneak a win here and kind of shock the world. BTJ, Travis Hunter have to be on their best game, though, going up against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a high scoring game. I think we can edge it out, maybe, just by the way that Cincinnati normally starts off the season.
It's a great point. I'm actually going to agree with you 100% here, Joey. I really like this game for the Jags for all the reasons you said. And because you look at the Jags, again, you're going to have a ton of new starters. You're going to have a guy like Travis Hunter. And when you have this new head coach, a new guy starting offense, defense, wide receiver, and corner, it's really hard to scheme early on. Like, you're just not going to have a lot of tape on what the Jags are going to want to do with Hunter. Um, obviously they're going to feed BTJ a lot, but then you have De'Ami Brown too, who went off in the playoffs. The Jags took a shot and said, "Hey, we're going to pay you $10 million for a year." And, if he hits as well, that's a nasty wide receiver room. So
Yeah.
the
And a
Bengals
fast
are,
one.
yes, very fast. And Bengals are notorious for being terrible at defense and just relying solely on Joe Burrow. And so I think the Jags you're going to see this year, you're going to win games that on paper people are going to say you're going to have no shot. You're probably going to lose some games that people are going to say, oh, yeah, the Jags should win. That's just what happens with a new head coach. So this is a game that everyone's probably going to count us out. We're on the road in Cincy, but I like us to start 2-0 here.
Yeah. And last time we played the Bengals, Trevor was having maybe his best game ever, dominating before
A
he
lot of
got
people do
hurt.
that against the Bengals.
That's true.
But
But
yes,
this
yes,
is
no,
definitely going
great
to be a
point. On
Trevor
Monday Night
Lawrence
Football.
game uh, where he needs to shine. And this is kind of where people can be like, oh, he's back if you go
Yeah.
out and win this game.
Yeah,
So then we
if you're
go,
sitting 2-0, people are believing in the Jags hype here pretty
oh,
early.
yeah. And then we come home and we get a game against rivals, the Texans, a revenge game. We haven't played the Texans since they knocked Trevor Lawrence out, and it's going to be a rough one. I think it's going to be hard hitting. We're going to be upset with the way that they treated Trevor, and I think it's going to be close. And I think we eke this one out. We start 3-0 at the beginning of the season because you've got to win the home games. That's what we haven't been doing lately. We lose at home, and I think that this new organization, we're not going to lose at home. We may lose on the road. It may be difficult, but when we're at home, we need to win. And this is a tone setter. You need to start off in your division with a win at home. Houston, you have everything to play for. The Texans knock Trevor out with a dirty hit. You got to go and punch him in the face.
I wonder if Aziz is still on the team. Not a guy I follow at all. Yeah, man, the
I think he
Texans are
is.
so interesting. Obviously, back-to-back division champs. Well, we were in 2023 chasing them hot on their heels, and 2024 was a dumpster fire. And, I believe in a rebound. The Texans are hard to know. Like, if you told me that they had kept Tunsil, I would say this is a team that's the top of the AFC. But
Now they got Cam Robinson now.
yeah. I mean, I guess they
They've been
can squeeze.
collecting former Jags like Pokemon.
They do. That's a great. Yeah, they've been collecting the Jags trash for a while. Not
I
Kirk
know.
is not Jags trash, but Cam is definitely more in the
They got
back end
Foley
of his career.
Fatukasi. They got
Yes.
Christian Kirk. They got Cam Robinson, who graded out as the worst left tackle with the Vikings last season when he got traded. Like, I don't know what they're doing, why they keep thinking that our garbage is not kind of garbage. Though Christian Kirk, I think, is actually really good, but he's been getting hurt a lot lately. So it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing.
Yeah,
CJ Stroud needs a kind of a bounce back. He
he
had a
does.
sophomore slump, and the question is, can he figure it out again?
And I do think he will. Like I think CJ Stroud is that good. You look at when he struggled last year was when all the wide receivers were out, right?
And he was getting sacked all the
Correct.
time.
Which I think that is still going to happen, but the wide receiver room is going to be pretty legit. They got
Yeah,
Kirk, they got Jaden Higgins, they got Jalen Noel in the draft, the Iowa State boys. So, gosh, we just don't play Houston well, and I just don't buy a 3-0 start. So I do have this game here as a loss. Um,
fair enough.
Unfortunately, but 2-1, even if you're 2-1 after the first three, I'm still pretty happy. You're going 2-1 or 3-0 into San Francisco as a Sunday afternoon game. 49ers are really interesting too. They're 6-11. They're big in the news. They just paid Brock Purdy a ton of
A
money,
ton of money.
who I love Brock Purdy, but obviously has his flaws. Like his ceiling is limited.
Yeah,
Um,
he's the new Ryan Tannehill, I think. I think he's very solid. He's going to win you a lot of games. I just don't think he's got that it factor that maybe a Trevor Lawrence, a CJ Stroud, or someone else that may hasn't hit it yet, but you can see something in them. I just don't see it in Brock Purdy. I see a
I,
very
don't-
solid guy. I just don't
I
see that
disagree.
like
He's
it.
a leader. He's got the it factor. He just doesn't have the talent factor. Like there's a
That's
clear
what I'm saying.
ceiling.
Like Ryan Tannehill was always a
Yes,
solid guy, but he just didn't have enough to get the
he
Titans
didn't have talent.
past.
Trevor Lawrence is 3 or 4 inches taller. He's much more athletic. His arm is a cannon. Same for Stroud. He's much more athletic with a better arm. Um, but yes, I mean he's best case scenario one of the best game managers, which you're still
That's true.
not a top 10 quarterback there. So uh, I don't know. This I feel like is similar to the Bengals. This is a game everyone's going to say, 49ers on paper, but you look at this team, it's aging. They lost a lot of pieces on defense.
Yes.
The Debo is gone. Brandon Ayuk, to your point, Joey, earlier
Still
about
kind
getting
of
paid,
hurt.
he gets paid and then does not look very good.
He wasn't
Uh,
very good, and then he got hurt,
yep.
and he's still not fully back. Who knows if he'll be ready? I mean, he should be playing, but will he be at 100% from his injury? Uh, with you, what I was saying, people getting paid. Will Brock Purdy take a step back now that he got this massive contract?
Yeah.
I'm not
I think he
sure.
will, not even because of him, but because of everything around him, right? That's always been the argument. He's only good because of all the pieces. Because thing too, Kittle is getting way up there. You watch receiver and you're like, okay, he's thinking about retirement 2 years ago. And then McCaffrey can't stay healthy.
Yeah, this
So
is game four. He already may be hurt.
yeah. Um, so I like this game as a win. Like I like this as a sneak surprise. You're sitting here at 3-1. Um, I think the Jags upset the 49ers.
Yeah, this one's a toss up to me. A lot of people have it an automatic loss just because of the name, and for
Correct.
years, 49ers have been very good.
Yes.
They embarrassed us in 2023.
Correct.
They were the people who figured us out and just stomped on us.
Yeah.
This is
35-3.
not the
Yeah.
same team at all. It's a very new team, as you said. They lost so many players over the free agency. I don't know what they were doing. Is this a rebuild year or refresh? I'm not really sure. I've been wrong. I thought the Bills wouldn't be very good last year because they lost all their wide receivers, but Josh Allen proved all of us wrong and carried that team. So
Hey,
it really will
you
kind
think
of
Brock
depend.
Purdy's gonna have a Josh Allen year?
No, no, I don't. Obviously not. I
No.
I predict them to not be very good, and they weren't very good last year. What, 6 wins? So I do have this as a W as well. A lot of people are worried about us playing on the West Coast, but guess what? Our coach and our GM are from the West Coast. So I think they're not going to have an issue playing over there, getting us ready on how to play on the West Coast. Um, hey, also Baselli played college on the West Coast, so that whole front office
There you
is
go.
kind of West Coast. So I don't see that being that big of an issue, though it's been an issue in the past. I think this is a completely different Jaguar team. I think you need to think about them in a completely different way. And I do. I think we go and win this, and we're 4-0.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, let us know for we don't. It doesn't look like we have too many people watching live, but if you are watching live, go ahead and drop your comment. But if you're watching this later, which I get it, it's pretty late here on Sunday evening. So if you're watching this later, let us know. What do you think the Jags are rocking with, rolling with after the first 4 games? But you do have to get off to a good start because if we kind
Oh
of look
yeah,
at these next three, these are 3 tough games coming up. So. The big
definitely.
one is Monday Night Football, home Kansas City, uh,
Chiefs.
Monday night game. Everyone's gonna be watching the Chiefs. Everyone's gonna be watching Travis Kelce. Our big primetime game. What do you think about this one? Chiefs were 15-2 last year with the luckiest 15-2 in the world, perhaps quote unquote rigged a little bit.
Yeah.
But then super exposed in the Super Bowl. So,
They
uh,
did the exact opposite of us. Every game was a close game,
right.
but they won them. We figured out a way to lose them. I mean, we start off hot. We're 4-0 going into this game, and we just don't take them serious enough. It's prime time. I think uh, we play well, and it's a close game, but the Chiefs somehow find a way to win, and we just can't figure it out quite enough to win against the Chiefs. But we show promise, we show heart, we're fighting, we want to go 5-0, but it's just not quite there for us. And I think we lose this game.
Yeah, I'm too scarred with the Jaguars in prime time. And I'm worried. I love the new era, the DNA, new blood. I was pounding the table on our podcast. All of us really were, hey, the Jags need to just do a full clean house. Because if you do half measure, you're gonna get stuck with, the same kind of loser. Hey, it's good enough to be 9-8 sort of DNA. But, at the same token, Trevor has not played well primetime. So obviously he was incredibly successful at Clemson in big games, certainly in high school too, but he hasn't done it in Jacksonville. And I hate the Chiefs. They annoy me like crazy, but they do find ways to win primetime games. And I don't like us here in this game at all. But I will say I have this as a loss. But if we find some way to win this game, I mean, the explosion for Jacksonville for the Jaguars, even if we don't
Oh,
start as hot, like let's say we go 2-2 and then win this game and are sitting at 3-2, there's going to be so much national media buzz believers in the Jaguars. So
definitely.
circle
I
this
mean,
game
even if we
because
started 0-4, well, no, maybe not that. If we
no,
went 1-3, like we have to beat the Panthers. Like it's a must win pretty much. But if we lose against Cincy, Houston, San Fran, but then go and beat the Chiefs, oh my goodness, like that would change the entire course, as you said. Like
it
it would be
would
huge,
get the monkey off the back. Kind of like we're
definitely.
both in Dallas right now. It's like how Cowboys feel about the playoffs, where they can go 12-5 all the time and just crumble in the playoffs. There is unfortunately just this dumb, annoying stigma of the Jags in prime time that we struggle. If you go beat the team that's won multiple Super Bowls on Monday Night Football when everyone is watching, you feel like, okay, that stigma is done, right? We can go
Well,
win big games.
not only is it prime time, but we're 0-8 against the Chiefs so
Right.
far right now.
Yeah.
That would be another monkey off your back if you went and changed that whole schedule of finally winning against the Chiefs. But let's go ahead and then move to Seattle comes to us at home. Seattle's a funny team. They
Yep.
went and got Cooper Kupp. They still have Jackson Smith and Jigba, who I think is good. They have Sam Donaldson now, who had an incredible year last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Sam
Can he keep
Darnold.
it? Yeah. Can he keep
Yeah.
it going on a whole new team, new players, everything? What was it? The Vikings who made him good, or is he
Yeah. Their
actually
coach.
kind of good? Um, this is such a toss up for me. Kenneth Walker III is also a good running back. They have a good offensive line. It's a good team. And the real question will be, how good is Sam? Can he do what he did with the Vikings? Uh, I'm gonna let you say something because I'm still 50-50 on this game.
Yeah, I'm too. Seahawks were down. Sorry, they were 10-7, but to me, they took a step back in the offseason. I'm not the biggest Geno Smith fan, but Sam Darnold's about the same level. And losing DK Metcalf for Cooper Cup, uh, 5 years ago, it's obviously Cup, but now, I think it's probably a little more Metcalf. I thought their draft was fine. This is probably an 8 or 9 win team. You're home. It's probably gonna be a close game, and this is where, yes, I think this just bites the Jags. You're a young team. You've got to, for those who are still on the team, you've got to find a way to win these sort of games. And in a lot of ways, you only learn how to win these close games
By
by
losing a few.
sometimes losing and then
Yep.
learning and adjusting. So, um, it would not shock me at all in the slightest for the Jags to win, but I do have this one as a loss here for the Jags.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna stick with what I originally put out a couple days ago. Um, I had this one as a loss too. I'm gonna say that we should have won this game. We were in the lead and we
Yep.
somehow kind of misstepped.
Because you have
And
that in the NFL.
yeah, like you have games that you should win. And I just I don't know. I I think we could win and probably should win, but I have it as a loss as well. So now we go to London, baby. And it
Yes,
is the
sir.
matchup that a lot of Rams and Jaguars really care about because you got Gladstone. We just took a bunch of their drafting talent,
Yep.
just signed with us. We're trying to be like them and set up kind of the Rams' little brother in Jacksonville. It's going to be a really fun game. And here's another toss up. It's a very good team. The Rams, a lot of people thought they'd take a step back last year. They still made the playoffs and played well in the playoffs. They gave the Eagles probably their best shot in the playoffs was against the Rams.
Yep.
Um, and I think this is another loss. I think this is 3 losses in a row. This is Big Brother. We try
Oh,
our hardest, but the new kind of staff isn't used to going to London. And I think that it gets close and we scare Big Brother, but we can't quite beat the Rams yet.
yeah, I agree with that 100%, except for one big thing. And hopefully, maybe we'll have a Jags UK fan on here. I just think the Jags are loved in UK. I know it's technically a home game, but even like quote unquote away games are home games over there for the Jags. I mean, I'm just looking at the ESPN prices. Look at how much more it is to go to that game. $270 compared to,
Yeah.
49 or 55 or
That also
18
because there's
in
only like
Tennessee.
2 games that they can go to. So it
Correct.
doesn't matter who's playing, they're going to go
Yeah,
buy
and,
tickets.
and who doesn't love the Jags in London? So,
Oh, I know. I mean, they already had a fan base, but now they have Travis Hunter. That's going to bring in
yes.
so many more UK fans. It's going to be crazy. And
So again, to me, this is the Jags, and you're really going to see this in the second half of the schedule for my predictions. You're going to have games, I just believe, that everyone's like, oh, there's no way. Like, just go ahead and move on. And I think they're going to win. And there's games where you're like, okay, all of a sudden you're 4-2, 4-3, 5-3. You're like, this is going to be an easy win. And they're going to get too confident or struggle or not realize, hey, anyone can get hot. And Trevor has a propensity to have turnovers at times, but this to me is the opposite. I think this is a game everyone's going to say, oh, yeah, the Rams got it. But the Jags, they know how to travel to London. They know how to find a way to bounce back, especially if we lose against Seattle at home. That becomes a massive, and you're like, hey, we win, and then we get to go celebrate for the next 2 weeks on a bye. So I think we both have the Jags 4-3 going into the bye through week 7. So let us know, Jags fans, what do you have through the first half through the bye? I love having the bye right in the middle. Uh,
yeah,
but
this
Jovi,
is nice.
yeah,
We'll speed it up just a smidge here. Now that we're getting into a few more of our divisional games, we hit our bye and then we go to Vegas, and this will be a good game because this is a younger team with Genty being on that team. Though I mean they do have Geno Smith. Maybe it's younger in the front office with Tom Brady now kind of helping them. And I think it's going to be a fun game, close, but I think we go and win this game against the Raiders. I don't think they're there yet. And with coming off the bye, I think we come in hot, just kind of how we started the season, and we go and win this game.
yep, I have this as a win as well. I think just coming off the bye is such a big boost.
Yep.
Typically, NFL teams just you play better after the bye. Whatever injuries, nicks up you have, you get a lot of healthy guys back. You're playing closer to 100%. I agree. I think Vegas is in a similar boat to the Jags. Like I like some of their offseason moves. Both were 4-13 last year. New coach with Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, Ashton Genty, I think is going to be amazing. But I think the Raiders are probably about 1 to 2 steps behind us. And with the boost of a bye, yeah, go ahead and give me a win here. Going into a huge game in Houston, week 10, where both of us now
I'm
we
gonna let
let's see.
you go first because
Yeah,
you
so
had us
we
losing against the Texans and I had us winning. So, do you think we get swept or do we split?
I think we have to split. I,
All right.
I, I think if you're a Texans fan, even though the Texans have an insane record against us, it is really, really, really hard to sweep a division rival. I know you're in Houston, but Joey, you and I were there 2 years ago
Oh yeah.
when we took it to the Texans. I mean, we barely won, but like we had so many plays that like we could have blown that game open. Like we had so many like first and goals inside the 5 and had turnovers or like missed on fourth downs. Like we won by 3, but if you had, 2 or 3 of those be touchdowns, we win that by 20 points. So, and if you remember that game too, that is when Josh Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker went just nuclear, both them multiple sacks.
Oh
Again,
yeah.
this is a Texans O line that's just, it's not
Not very
good.
good.
It's not
No,
like,
they got worse, not
yeah,
better.
they
Honestly, this
traded away their
offseason.
best offensive tackle at the most important position. Um, I like everything else around, but like one of these games, maybe it's week 3, maybe it's week 10. I think our pass rush is just gonna go off.
Go off.
So this is a game where, yeah, I like us to split against the Texans. I don't know if you have us sweeping them. That would be amazing. I would go crazy. Just so happy if we swept the Texans, but I have a splitting with kind of a weird again. I just think it's going to be a different season. You're going to win games. You shouldn't. You're going to lose games. Like you should win the home and lose the away, but I think the Jags flip it. We're just going to do things that are not conventional.
Gotcha. Um, I think we can sweep them. I mean, for how much of a hot garbage team we were last year, we only lost to them by 3 points in the last
Yep.
second, and then another, I think, like 4 points in the last second. All we had to do was stop them with like a minute to go, couldn't do it. And then all we had to do was score, and we couldn't do it. So, I mean, it's very possible to sweep them. But as you said, it's so hard. And I do think they eke out the win at their house. I just have it flipped that we win the home game, lose the second game at their house. Uh, and really, the only reason I have this is because it's so hard to sweep, especially with
Yep.
a team that it's going to be us or them, I think, really fighting for the division. And I just don't think we can sweep them just yet.
Not yet. Hopefully soon. And again, especially because at this point, week 10, you're gonna get a good picture of where I think, and we probably both agree, the AFC South race is gonna be a two-man race similar to 2022. I guess the Colts snuck in with a little Gardner Minshew magic, but you know, I think it's the Jags and Texans duking it out most of the season, and then
And we
ugh,
got the Chargers
I don't like
rematch
this
of
matchup.
playoff.
Yes, I wish it was the same team and the same coach.
I know it's a completely different coach, different play style. They're not trying to air raid it. They are built up front, and I think we lose. Honestly, I think Jim Harbaugh has this team playing well. I think they're going to be very different than any other team that we play. I think they're going to battle up front, and it's going to be a little bit different for us. And we're going to try to throw on them, and they're going to pick Trevor off again. And it's just going to be difficult. And I don't see this. I can see this as an ugly loss, to be honest.
Yeah. This is a matchup I don't like for our team. I will say though, it's going to be interesting. You're going to be able to know before the playoffs how good and legit the Jags are because to me, you are playing every single elite AFC team. Obviously, the Chiefs. The Chiefs have run the AFC forever. I do think they take a step back. But then you look at the two up and comers, in my opinion, are the Chargers, who were 11-6 last year, and I think got better this offseason. And then the Broncos, who I think they were 11, maybe 10 wins last year, played really well in the playoffs. Stole
Broncos are going to
Ingram.
be
Well, and didn't steal Ingram, but got Ingram from us. And then obviously, Houston is been the leader in the AFC South. So you're going to have five of those games in the regular season. So I don't like this. I think this is a loss, but if you make it really competitive, or if you even find a way to sneak out a home win, that's when all of a sudden talk becomes okay, Jags are at least in the conversation for the AFC. But I think we're still, in my opinion, a year away from that. And so I think the Chargers are legit. I think Harbaugh's legit. I think they won 11 games and are going to be even better next year.
So I got myself 5-5 so far through 10. What are you at?
You have us 5-5? Are you sure?
I
Man, it
think
feels like
so.
more. Let's
Because
see.
we were
One,
four and
two,
three through
three,
the bye, and
four,
then I had us beating Vegas
five,
for 5, and
six.
then
Oh,
two
yeah, you're right.
losses. Yeah, five
So
and
I have
five.
us at 6 wins right now.
Okay.
So
Um, and then we come up against the Cardinals. I think after a bad loss, we come out hot, and I think we beat the Cardinals. I don't have much to say about this. I think we kind of tee off on Kyler Murray, and I think we beat him. Oh, and I think Travis Hunter goes off against Marvin Harrison Jr. I think he shuts him down.
I would love to see. Well, it wasn't that hard to do. Just saying.
I know,
Just
but
saying.
kind of
I
that.
do think MHJ will have a better season. I don't know. This was a tough one because it just feels like you're in weird limbo land here where I don't like the Cardinals, but this kind of gets to the part of the season where anything can happen. I actually have it as a win and a loss, but I think it's a loss if for no other reason than again, I think this is a team where you're gonna lose games. And if I have it 50-50, I typically give it to the home team here. I think this is a game the Jags should win, but may not.
Very possible. I've heard some people thinking we may lose to them. Next, we have the Titans and the Colts. And just to speed things up, I'm going to let you know we sweep both of them. I think the Titans get better with Cam Ward, but I don't like their coach that much. I don't think they have much weapons around Cam Ward just yet. I don't think Calvin Ridley is good enough to be that guy. They don't have anyone else to throw it to. And then their running back, I don't even know, is it still Tony Pollard?
Yeah,
And if it is,
him
he
and
didn't.
Spears.
Yeah, they weren't that great last year. I think they take a step forward, but just not good enough. Maybe once they get more weapons around Cam Ward, but yeah, I got to sweep in them. And then I think the Colts will be honestly kind of garbage because it's going to be a switch between Anthony Richardson and Daniel Jones. They're going to play like 3 games and they're going to have a bad game and they're going to switch their quarterback and he's going to play well and then he'll have a bad game and then they'll switch and it's just never going to be cohesive for them. And so I think they have a terrible season. I say we sweep both the Titans and the Colts.
So I agree and I disagree. I agree so much with you on the Colts. I am such a seller on the Colts. You know, if Anthony Richardson could stay healthy for a season, maybe he could start to put something together. He obviously has all the talent, but like,
But does
he,
he have the talent? That's my question. He
yeah,
wasn't good
oh,
in high school. He wasn't good in college. Like, why do people keep thinking they're like, oh, he can be so good? I'm like, he's never shown it ever. Not once has he had a good season to where you're like, he could be a top 10 quarterback. Every
see, but
year, I'm like, that's a bottom 10 quarterback.
See, but
And he always gets hurt.
that's the thing is it's that keyword season. He's just never like he hasn't played a complete season
That's true.
on college, not in pros. So it's almost impossible to ever get better and work on things if you're always hurt. Like you're missing training camps constantly, you're missing practices, you're missing all this time. And you look at the Colts, you're like, oh, well, they had 8 wins last year. They were 9-8, the year before a screen pass
Yeah, but they
away.
had a lot of lucky wins.
I was going to say, but who saved the day? Gardner Minshew. Minshew Magic. He's gone. Joe Flacco, 40, 50-year-old Magic. He's gone. Daniel Jones to me is terrible. And AR, like he just can't stay healthy. And you're playing them week 14 and week 17. The odds of him playing those games seem astronomically low. And if you're telling me I get to play Daniel Jones twice when the Jags have the playoffs in the sight, I agree with you. I think that's the easy sweep. The Titans, I think we go 1-1 just because the Titans hate us and it's hard to sweep. And I am a big believer in Cam Ward, and he is a good enough athlete that their offensive line, it's the opposite of the Texans. I love the Titans' offensive line. They have a great line, but to your point, they have no weapons.
Young offensive line.
Yes.
But it's a lot of first rounders.
Yeah, just a ton
I
of
don't see they don't have enough weapons, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Calvin Ridley with us running wrong routes. He is good.
No,
he
I'm
just
not
doesn't put in the effort, I don't think.
Yeah. No, I'm not a Ridley fan. And Okonkwo is an interesting tight end, but he can't put it together. Maybe he's the
He's
AR
got
of
flashes, but I haven't seen
he's
it.
the AR of tight ends. But I've had 1-1 Titans, and then the last 2 matchups here, Jets.
2 more.
Jets is to me an easy win. That could be a trap game, but like I just the Jets are 5-12 and the quarterback is still a mess. And odds are by week 15.
Go get Justin Fields, who has been on the Bears, has been on the Steelers, and now he's on the Jets. I love their head coach. I think he's the Lions defensive coordinator. I think he is a good coach. I just don't think they have a good team.
Yeah. You know what helps us too? Like playing these bad teams at the end. Maybe I should change the Titans too, even though they just play us annoyingly tough, even when there's nothing to play for. Just like we did this year, like when we swept them, even though in some ways we shouldn't have. So then we could have had one, the number 1 pick, trade back to 2, gotten a Hall and Travis Hunter. But 2026 is going to be a stupid good quarterback class. So you could see a lot of these Jets, Colts where they're like, I'm done with AR. We need a new quarterback. Obviously Titans won't think that, but Jets, Colts, maybe someone else as well. So Jets, I love that as a win. Denver, I hate that game. uh,
Oh, I know. I'll get there in a
in
second.
Denver.
The only way I don't think we sweep the Titans is if we were already set in the playoffs and we sit kind of everyone, and the
Yeah,
Titans
week
really want to go
18.
win. We may lose that game, but like otherwise, I think we sweep. But this Denver team, this is my biggest buy for this year is Denver. I
Yep.
love Sean Payton. I think he's an incredible coach. Bo Nix shot off of the field last year. I think he has a great team around him. The running back ish, they don't have that great of a running back, but their wide receiver core is good. I think Evan Ingram is going to shine in a Sean Payton type of offense. Do you remember when they had their amazing tight end
Jimmy
for the
Graham. Yep.
Saints, Jimmy
It's a fun
Graham?
time.
I think that this is going to be a good year for the Broncos. It's going to be cold. We're playing in Denver.
Yep.
I just don't think we play well. It probably could be a snowy game. I think we play hard. This is a home game for Travis Hunter, kind of going back to Colorado, but I just don't think it's enough. I think we're outmatched a little bit, and we lose that game.
The
So
other the other hard thing there too is to me looking at every matchup, and I know I have teal glasses, and I know I love Brian Thomas Jr., but I honestly look at, and yes, Houston's got that incredible corner. That's going to be a fun matchup.
Singletary or whatever.
Yeah,
What's his
it's
last name?
Derek Stingley
Stingley. Yeah.
Jr. But like BTJ played pretty well against him last year. Pat
Yeah.
Surtain, uh, obviously
He's
just won
good.
Defensive Player of the Year. I think that is the one time where they can just say, "Hey, we're just going to put him, on BTJ, and we're just not going to get a ton there." So yeah, I don't like that game at all. That's the
It's
only
hard to throw
one
in the
where it
snow too. So
could be a blowout.
yeah.
I hope not. I'd love to beat them, but I don't like that
Broncos
game
and
at all.
Chargers, yeah. Those are two matchups I don't really like, and I got both of them as a loss. So I finished the season off with a 11-6 um 11-6 record, sorry. I think it's very attainable. It's very high. My greatest optimism, I think we hit 12-5. I mark it down a little bit. I can go in with 11-6. I know I have teal glasses on. I'm super hyped for this Travis Hunter thing, but I like the way the schedule works out for us. We're not on the road too much. We're at home against some really good games. As you said, I think we win some games we really have no business winning. We may lose a few that we should win, but I think this team really makes a turnaround. We start to win those games that are close at the end. I think Liam Cohen schemes it up well, and everyone kind of shines. So yeah, 11-6, we win the division and we go have a playoff run.
A playoff run, playoffs.
Yeah,
So I have us at 10 wins, and I think that's the magic number, right? The Jags have only ever done that once, even that great. And I love 2022. That was such a fun season, a fun run, but we still only finished with 9 wins. So we've only ever done a double digit season when 2017, when just epic Saxonville, we should have been in the Super Bowl. Miles Jack was not down year. So
we was
I like us at 10 wins. JT, our other Jag bro, the oldest of the three of us, he
most
texted in
skeptical.
and he said that he's got us at 9 wins. So I'll be curious.
Not bad.
Which, like, honestly, if you said, where do you think the Jags finish on paper? I was like, 8 wins if we lose some hard games, 9 wins. But then I look at the schedule and I'm like, I just like when we play a lot of these teams. I love playing Cincy, which we talked about. Like, I love playing them early.
Getting them early.
I
You're getting the
love playing the
49ers
49ers
early.
early. And then I love playing a lot of these bad teams late. when they're just thinking about, draft capital and getting a good pick, which the Jags aren't worried about. Like, even if you struggle early, you don't have a first round pick. So even if you're sitting there, like 2-5 into the bye, you're still saying, hey, we've got a very winnable schedule where we can still get hot and still hit, eight and
Oh yeah,
two
there's no
in
reason to
these
tank because
in
if you're
these last,
tanking, then you're giving the Browns just a
yeah.
better pick.
Yeah.
So no,
Um,
exactly.
Yeah, so let us know what you think. We'll respond to each of your comments. So drop your record prediction for the Jags. Can we get 10 wins? Like, that is the big marker to me. I think if you hit 9, like, it's still very successful. But I have us at 10-7, and this is where it gets interesting. I think the Texans are right at that same mark, and I have us
Really,
splitting one
they have
and
a
one.
hard schedule. I went through
Yeah,
it. I think I had them at 8 wins, 9 losses. So I really do think if we do get to 9, we still win it. It'll be really close, and it could
yeah,
come
we'd
down
have
to
to
the last
split though.
game.
Yep.
But yeah, it's going to be around that 8-9 margin. So it's
Yeah.
going to be important. It's going to be close.
So
Um,
hit subscribe. We're gonna do a ton more Jags content. So kind of our flow is we'll break down, give a preview of each game, and then talk about the upcoming game. Give a preview and then a breakdown of the previous game. So 2 episodes every week. Once we get there, we'll have some off-season content as well. So obviously you're watching this on YouTube, so subscribe. But we also have a podcast on all podcast platforms. So check that out. But Joey, let's end it this way before we
mhm.
close. Give me a either trade scenario or trade percentage, because obviously that's probably the biggest rumor as of May
Right now.
18th for Trey
Okay.
Hendrickson.
Um, I had it packaging Eric Armstead in a third round, but I do like you throwing in because I wasn't sure if that was going to be enough, but packaging ETN in there as well because the Bengals, I mean, they got Chase as that running back who's
Yep.
good, but he's gotten hurt. They don't have much behind that, so they could definitely use a running back. They're going to be losing a defensive line guy, so you go get Eric Armstead. And then a third round pick, we have 3 of them, even if we have to throw in 2. I I like what that could be. The
Yeah.
question just will be if you move Eric Armstead, I think you have to move either Trayvon Walker inside or if Trey can play inside, I don't know. But one of them, or maybe they rotate. Sometimes one goes inside and the other goes outside, or vice versa. Not sure how they would want to work it out, but just when you have that ability to go get that type of talent, I think you go get it. He's only
Yep.
30. He's not, I mean, I think he's around the same age as Josh Hines Allen. That could be Saxonville all over again.
Yep.
Uh,
You can never have
and that
enough
could be
edge
very
rushers.
nice. So
I
that
don't
would be
know.
my
Like
trade for you.
I like that trade package, and I haven't seen it. Like, sometimes I think we get one sided, but and I doubt we have any Bengals fans that watched all 50 minutes or an hour, however long we went. But like, if they were like, to me, that kind of makes sense for them. Like, because you get 2 pieces that are win now. You obviously don't pay Hendrickson, which we would do for 2-3 years or so.
Yep.
Um, Pay him good, big money for that. And so they get ETN, they get Armstead for a season, they let them both walk, and then they have a ton of cap space the next year if it doesn't pan out, and a third round pick, like a top 80, 90 pick. So
Yeah.
I
And
don't
I'd be
know.
willing to throw. I because we have 3. I'd throw 2 in there if that needed to happen to sweeten the deal.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go all 3, but um,
We'll see what
yeah.
Jimmy Gladstone can cook up. But
Let's see what
uh,
Stones has.
yeah. Definitely willing
He
to make
said
big
he's
trades.
willing to be bold, and
He
if
is.
they need to be, if this is the guy that they want, I think he makes it happen.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that I
F the
just don't know.
Knicks.
He loves to build through the draft. So
That's
we'll
true.
see. But a ton to watch, ton to follow. Check us out YouTube, follow us on Twitter, but we'll wrap it up here. Again, let us know your thoughts and we'll respond to each of them, but we'll sign off here. Go Jags, baby.
Go Jags.
Duval.
Duval.
Duval.